Hey howdy hey lethals and villains. So for this video I wanted to show you the design evolution of my mascot character Noctina. So I've actually had her for about 10 years, and originally I had this crazy idea of doing YouTube and making these little writing tutorial videos, so I needed to design an avatar. Now actually the first avatar is a lot more owl-like, that was blue in color and for some reason had pants. Unfortunately, I don't have that avatar on file anymore for some reason. I haven't been able to find it. Also, you're not going to be able to find those videos. They are no longer exist because, oh my god, they're so bad. Anyway, so the first anthropomorphic version was about 2015 with this black version. I admit I didn't quite know how to make an anthropomorphic owl, so we have this really weird arm design with the yellow fingertips, and I think she's wearing some kind of loose sweater. I have no idea what I was thinking when I designed this one, but this design didn't last very long because later that same year we have what starts the brown version. And funny thing about this version, this is when Five Nights at Freddy's was really starting to take off. So yeah, she was kind of a FNAF OC type design. But she actually incorporated like shape elements from both, the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics, game 1, as well as the 1980s Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, more specifically the ones from the Coozer store. So you can see she has still has the ear tips, but the face is a lot more rounder. The eyes are yellow. We go with the yellow. This is where we do with the red. And we start giving her a dress. The colors of her dress are actually from the Digimon Kaiser, more specifically from 02. We don't incorporate his other design elements until much later. Again, I wanted to have a bit more of a showman, MC type, a lot more child-friendly type version. We do also have a much more animatronic version with this 2016 design. And you can see her dress design is a lot more simplified. Funny enough, this is actually the first time she's actually carrying the pen accessory, because I do a lot of ink work, for fun. But for that time being, it was just like she just points it around, kind of like a bit of a magic wand type deal. And that design would be like that for another year. Now we have the 2017 design, which is also where we first have the scar on her eye. And there's actually two origins to the scar. So the actual original origin is because when I was making her mascot head for the very first version, I was cutting, cross slits on the fabric to tuck in for the eye holes. And I wasn't paying attention, and by the time I put, the black band in and sewed the face on and put the eyes in, I had cut the right hand side way too far. And so there was this exposed bit of green upholstery foam. And this was like, we had 3 days before the con. I didn't have the time or funds to actually get it fixed. Plus fabric stores were like an hour and a half away from me. So we just took some black paint and just filled in the eye areas, very quickly. And that's kind of how it was. Also at the time, I was watching Kaido Joker, so that might have also heavily influenced the design. As you can see in this version, her face is a lot more softer, a lot rounder. We took away the whole animatronic element. We kind of want to get away from that. She also was going to be the front mascot for this writing group that I originally had. I mean, that group doesn't really exist anymore. We kind of drifted apart and all that good stuff. But yeah. So that's why we went with the more softer design. You can still see her dress is still very simple. And Yeah. So now we head to the 2019 version when we making all new banners and new character designs for the group. This is where, funny enough, where we have the scars a lot more prominent. This is also the origin of her dress design, which pretty much stays mostly intact. Again, her dress elements from the Digimon Emperor, both the O2 and the Tri version, both in color and pattern. And then the red gems on her front, actually from the Kimono O armor accessory from Pokemon Sun and Moon Ultra. We also added, or I also added, I don't know why I said we, the metallic talons sort of thing. Again, I was like a whole sort of mood, which heavily influenced part of the design. This is also the umbrella design. So for a while, because I used to play Splatoon a lot and I was a Splatbrella user. So for a while, whenever I drew her, she would have the, Penbrella accessory. We didn't really do anything with that, and I personally think it just was a bit too bulky. So we got rid of that in this version. And this is the 2-scar version. The 2 scars again was also an accident. The pen slipped and she ended up having a second scar, and we just kind of left it there. The idea of the scar was that it was just an accident involving a trombone and a pineapple, and that's why there's no more Funfetti Fridays. So you can see her dress design didn't change all that much. The arm wing design changed a little bit. It got a little more complex. And this design actually lasted the longest, because the next time we had the major redesign was in here. This is the 2022 version, and this is what's called the pigtail version, because I wanted to have a bit more of a cheerful, sort of upbeat kind of idea. I was also inspired by a artist rendition of Circus Baby. I don't know where that piece of art is anymore. So make her hair a little bit more spiky. Her costume's a lot more colorful. Her poses a lot more, outgoing. We got rid of the talons, instead replaced it with these armbands, which are actually just the holy rings from Digimon. I was in that huge Digimon phase at the time. And that design has pretty much been the same design. What anyone who does fan art for me used that design for. So now we have the 2026 design. So with her design, I did want to kind of smooth it out a little bit more, make it a little more fluffy, a little more friendly looking. As you can see, the dress design hasn't changed all that much. Went from the more pointy tail coat to the more rounded kind of butterfly wing design. We added a lot more of the red in her feathers. And I changed the armbands out for leg warmers. One of the most notable changes we decided is to put the big red bow on her back. I just decided it just looked, a lot more cuter, a lot more, MC organizer design. So, and this is mostly just as a big little dumb joke, but the lettering on the back of the ribbons, that also is Noctina, but they're in 3 different languages. The left one is in the Ninjago language. The one in the middle is in the Digimon language. And the other one is the ancient language from the Lightseekers card game. Even though I don't play that game anymore, I do just like the art design of it. So this is design I hope is going to, stick around for quite some time. And that is the evolution of Noctina. I hope you all enjoy it and have yourself a good March.